that if you rip her plush that looks like a rabbit that has blood on its arms, legs, and head. If you rip it, it shows William decapitated. She said, "How dare you?" Actually, all of her bullies, even her husband's bullies, keep doing this. And it's just, you'll never get privacy. You never get privacy. And she's sometimes don't like her plush that looks like William but spring locked plush. She found it when William was dead. She cries and says, "How dare you?"
You can name and publish this
and
room
she
by
cries
pressing
and says, no, and
this
screams.
room on your watch.
And says, "You killed William. Great job, you assholes." And something has to be done for sacrifice. She was asleep when Chris, Afton, and Elizabeth snatched Cutie's toy that looked like William but spring locked. They ripped it, and they see William on the ground, decapitated. Cutie cries and runs to her room, and they say they see a diary on her book. There's a diary on her freaking desk, and it says, this is first chapter. Plush was ripped and Will was decapitated. Oh, help, 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 help. That she doesn't like this day, even though it's her favorite day. There was a year and day whose photos have fucking messed it up. And when Cutie was in school, Cutie discovered that Will was dead, and there's a note saying, "Give this to Cutie." And Cutie cried for hours until she realized that it was possessed by Will. And when those bullies rip it up, it shows William but decapitated and arms ripped off and legs. And Cutie doesn't like this. She screams to make the whole other Aftons come and scream and cry and cry. Crying, 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 crying. Even though the roleplay will not be great day, but no promises. No promises. So then she gets another plush that William possesses, and it's the same one but stitched back together. And then when Claire stitches it back together, William disappears. It doesn't say his voice line though. He doesn't. And the bullies try to rip it again, but it made Will mad. So he turns into him human self and kick the bullies in the balls. And then turns back into a rabbit toy that's stitched back together. And she gets another one that was meant for her as a gift from her friend. Not this. That's Chris Evans. And now we're gonna explain Mike Lofton. Check. Mike Lofton is not Chris Afton. Means Mike Lofton is not crying child. And crying child is Chris. So you dinguses don't even notice that? So Michael Lofton realizes someone ripped his favorite toy, that he had a friend that had read this whole time. And it was in Foxy Toy. And Michael cried and told every Afton, even Chris, to get out of here now because he hates all of them. Now, but Chuck. Elizabeth, she likes everything. She wants to rip toys up. She wants to rip even Chris Afton's toys up. And when that happens, Chris cries and says, "How dare you! You just he says, you just ripped Cutie's toy." And Cutie comes in saying, "Where's my and it shows William decapitated on the ground, bleeding out blood out of the mouth. And Cutie says, "How dare you, you boys!" She cries and screams, and cries, screams, crying and screaming. Well, now, Will. He doesn't do much, but sometimes does so much things that makes Cutie happy. But when she found the plush, she cried and sang, "William, are you okay? Are you okay? I'll get you out of there." But she can't. It was all locked up. So she cries. And the police say she didn't do it, but she crying because that was her DAD. And she said to the police, "How dare you?" and just slices them in half. But she realized she sliced her friend in half. That was the police this whole time. Well, Cutie's like 5, and she doesn't even understand what spring lock mean. When she's older, she's like my age, 9. And she says, "You remember ripping my rabbit up? Now I'm ripping your teddy bear. And killing your favorite toy, Michael." No, I'm done with this. Broadcast.